Well, hello everyone. Hello, how's everything going today? So we have ourselves here, High Frontier for All, and it is game number 4. So that's really nice, right? Game number 4, and game number 4 is going to be on the Race for Glory rules, except for a couple of things that are going to change. I wanted to go ahead and stick with the Race for Glory uh, cards and theme and so forth, and before we went to the core game. And after this one, we're actually going to do one more Race for Glory, and it was the thing that I talked about last time, which is the to go out and try to rescue survivors of a disaster. But this one I decided to do because it's actually listed before that one. So I'm kind of really going in order of easiest to hardest, right? Or more complicated mode, I suppose. So this one expands it just out a little bit more. So we did, last time we did the tutorial, but this time I actually get to make moves that I want to for the very first time. You'll notice that the glory chits are out on the board all the way out to Jupiter. So we've expanded out to the Ceres zone and the Jupiter zone. Before it was just to the Mars zone. So we've expanded it out. All the other rules, though, we're going to do just like the Race for Glory. So there's no supports. There's a limited. It's a more limited set of rules than the core game. We're also have 3 chits now instead of 2. So after the third chit is removed, we're going to roll a die, and if it comes up with 1, then the game's over on that turn. So that's kind of where we're at. But the In Pursuit of Happiness is a specific game here, and you'll see it here in the rules. In Pursuit of Happiness. And it says that humanity has come together to work collectively for the betterment of each. Ideological differences have been put aside, and you are all pursuing the exploration and exploitation of space for the sake of the human condition. In this scenario, you win by cooperating, and the lowest individual score determines how well you did as a team. So this is a cooperative mode, and I'm going to play with 2 different players here. So I'm going to play as a cooperative with both of these. And the rules are the end of the game, we roll the 1 after the third chit's removed. The victory conditions is the normal scoring that we did last time, except claims are not counted. In other words, these plastic discs, they're not counted as a point. And the sum of the points for all glories and factories achieved by each player. So we figure out what the sum of all those are, but then we compare the player who has the lowest score to the following table and see how we did as a team. So we want to make it as even as we possibly can. We know this is sci-fi because humanity has put aside its problems, and we know that's not going to happen. So we definitely know this is a sci-fi game. If we score less than 7 points for the lowest team, then it's a dystopia. It's a dystopian future. If it's 7 to 16, then there are struggles. If it's 17 to 26, then it's prosperity. And if it's greater than 26, then it's utopia. So we want to try to get 26 points. And I would think that the best way to get points is sitting right over there on that factory chart. So every time you get a factory, you basically move the for that spectral type, you move the aqua down and it goes to the point level. So what we really don't want to be doing is competing for the same factory sites and lower it down to 5. although I suppose two factories on the same would give 10 points total, 5 to each, but two factories on two different ones would give 8 points each. So this is kind of my thought, is that if we could get two factories apiece, that would be 16 points apiece. And then there are those glory chits out there, which is equal to 3 on Mercury if you bring them back home. 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. So what's that? 5, 10, 14. So that would be 7 points apiece. So that would be 23. And if I recall, the factories are counted as a point. So that would be 2 more points apiece. Then we're both going to have a rocket at the end of the game, and that's going to count for 2 points apiece. So I'm sorry, 1 point apiece. So 2 plus the rocket is 3, plus 16 is 19, plus 7 for the glory chit is 26, but it has to be greater than 26. So we're going to need to build one colony apiece. And that would do it. That would give it 27 points apiece. So I don't know if that's achievable or if it's even possible, and especially since this is going to be the first time that I've ever played just doing my own moves. So we're going to have to see how that works out. One thing is for sure, and that is getting factories built is going to be critical. So I'm definitely going to need to look towards making sure that I can get myself a factory. And that's going to be very good, because when we have a factory, we're going to be able to ET produce and turn those cards over into the black. Actually, I think somebody gets a point for first person on Mars, first this and that. I'm going to have to take a look at the rule book section here. I've got the core rules. So let's just take a look and see what the core rule book says regarding those. Maybe those first two was just for that tutorial on the race for Mars itself. So let's see, in-game scoring, 1 VP for each wooden or plastic token. These are wood, those are plastic, except for claims, of course, but rockets and factories, the factory stock price, a colony dome location. So if we go to one that has astrobiology, for example, which is this green icon here, I know it's going to be really tough for you to see that there, but I also didn't want to move the camera around anymore. I just wanted to leave it there, and hopefully that's going to be good enough. But there's an astrobiology there, and actually one there as well. And there's also there's also one here, one there, one there. So there's astrobiology, and we get 1 point extra if we build a colony there. And then there's sites that are submarine, and I guess that's an under the ice colony. And let's see where the closest one is. Here's astrobiology. There's astrobiology. There's astrobiology. I'm looking for a submarine. There's a couple of astrobiologies way out there. There's a whole bunch of astrobiologies here. Here's a submarine here on Castillo. Here's a submarine here on Ganymede. There's a submarine here on Europa. And there's let's see if there's any more submarines. I'm looking here out in the Jupiter zone and seeing if there's any more. No, it looks like the moons of Jupiter, though. So that's the only place where there's submarines that are in the Jupiter zone or closer. So those are worth 2 points. So that might be, it's a long way to go for a colony. So I don't know. But I do think that what I'm going to try to do is get over to Mars, because there's a lot of points to be had there. Build 3 factories right over there. And Yeah. So anyway, let's introduce who we're playing as. So I chose two new ones that we haven't played with before. So the first player is going to be these guys here, which is the ISRO Glav Cosmonauts. Okay, so that's who these guys are. The ISRO. Can this thing focus? I guess not that close. I'm gonna play with this and figure out how close I can get it. But that's probably about right there. Okay, so they have a one mass of the radiation doesn't matter, but their faction ability is that if any of your humans carry a glory chit, then you can get double yield from a co-located site refuel operation. Okay, so refueling, we can get double. So if you have a factory, it can be 14 aqua. That's crazy. It's got 11 thruster. It's got 14 steps to use this thruster, and it's got a 2 afterburn. So you got to go 2 steps of fuel in order to get 1 extra thrust. But that's and they also have a 4 ISRU with a ray gun and also a missile there. So we're going to go put that on Leo. Our second player is the B612 Foundation. Okay, and they have their faction ability is that they have a blink telescope, 1 reroll per prospecting operation when using a ray gun, and they've got a 15 thrust with 10 steps of fuel and a 2 afterburn. So if we can get to a prospecting site that has 4 hydration on it, because it's an ISRU 4. If we can get to a hydration site, then we can go ahead and roll twice if we fail the first time. And there actually are some 4 hydrations. There's one here that is I have to roll a 1. This one is also 4. I got to roll a 1 there as well. Here's one that's got to roll a 1. Yeah, these are all 3 and 2 hydration. I'm trying to look and see if there's more with here's 4 with 1, 4 with 1, 4 with 1, 4 with 1. Here's 4 with 6. That's an auto. Here's 4 with 1. There's 4 with 1. There's 2 with 4, 4 with 2, and there's 2 with 4. But that's way out there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that that probably going for one of those bigger sites is better. But the first thing I want to do is the moon. We can get an S factory and an H factory there. Although this one doesn't have any hydration, so I'm not exactly sure. I guess that you have to have an ISRU value of 0 in order to prospect that site. Here's you got to have an ISRU of 1 to prospect that site. So the moon may not be a very good option unless we get a Robonaut that has a 4. So I'm sorry, it has an ISRU value of 1. So we'll see, I guess, what happens from that. All right, player 1 is ready to start, and the first thing that we're going to need to do is build up some components here in to build a rocket. And one of the things that I noticed right away is that none of these cards are great.
the 4 mass refinery, the 4 is kind of high. I don't like that 4 mass. The Robonaut's not great because it's got a 4 ISRU. Although it is a buggy, it can prospect both of those sites right there for free, because it basically has to roll the 6-sided die, and it has to be equal to or less than the site. And of course, 10 is greater than anything that this thing's going to roll, so it's not going to be an automatic prospect. But it would be nice to get an ISRU of 3 and then really start cooking over there and build up, although the claims don't matter because claims don't count as points. So we really just need 1 factory over there. And probably the easiest way to go is to this one here. So I really need an ISRU value of 3. So this Robonaut's not going to be great. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and sell that after I get it anyway. So, yeah, I think that's what I'll do, because maybe we'll get a better Robonaut over here, and then this person can take it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Robonaut. Since we're playing cooperatively, no one's going to bid, so just take it for 0. So this player gets the card over here. All right, here we go. Here's a Robonaut of 2, but it's not a buggy. So that's okay though. We only really need 1 site over there anyway, because we just want to build a factory. So I guess this person's going to take this. Although it's a 5 mass, but it is a C card, so it can be ET produced. However, when I build a factory, it's going to be decommissioned. No, that's okay. I think that's okay. It can be ET produced out of your hand over there because it is your patent, and you can do that on the factory. So yes, we're going to go. It's 5 mass, but yes, I'm going to go ahead and take this card. When I ET produce it, look, it's going to be a 0 ISRU. So that is, and it's a ray gun. So this team has the 1 reroll faction privilege. So we should be able to use this card and ET produce it after doing the factory pretty well. Okay, so if this person's going to Mars, then the question is where then is the other player going to go? And their faction ability is getting chits. So I suppose they just need to land on a site, pretty much any site within a zone, and be able to claim the chit. So you'd think the moon is really simple to do that with, but it's a 9 site, so we got to have at least 10 thrust in order to get off it. And using the crew over here with a 14 steps of fuel is a lot. I mean, it's a lot. So the question is, I guess, is like, what's the closest object to really get to without a lot of burns, and get a glory chit. That way it can do a site refuel. So I'm not exactly sure. See, this is the tough part, is that I really don't know what the best strategy is for this game, because this is the first time I'm actually doing the moves myself. So there's just, as you can see, so many options. But I kind of want to start out slowly if I can, and go to some site that's not too bad, and then prospect it. This one actually is not too bad here. This is an ISR of 2, and on the backside it's a 1 with a buggy. The 1 is pretty good because that is 1 hydration, and it is a C site, so I could basically say, hey, can I use your factory in order to ET produce, and they say, sure, go ahead. And so, boom, I've got myself an upgraded Robonaut. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that Robonaut there. It actually has a thruster on it, so that's kind of cool. Although it's not the greatest, but I'm sorry, I didn't change the year, by the way. This is year number 2 already. Okay, so this one over here, it's either the C thruster, which is a pretty good thruster, and if you see on the other side, it's actually got a 2 thruster, but only uses half a step of fuel, so that's not bad. It's only got 2 mass on this side. It's only got 2 mass on this side. Kind of needs a low mass thruster anyway. So yeah, I think they'll take the thruster. All right, year 3. This is going to go a lot faster, obviously, than the previous video. We're really going to start rolling through this. Okay, the refinery is sitting at 4 mass. It's not the greatest thing. It's also a V, so that's not really great either, because we got to find a V site and get to it, and then it can be ET produced. Taking a look at it, it goes down to a 3 mass, and it has an ability here: scoop at aerostat sites co-located or adjacent to this card, gain 2 in hydration for prospecting or site refueling. Well, that's interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe I should focus then on going to a V site. There is a big asteroid out there that's 6V, which is an auto prospect. And it's got 2 hydration. And they do have the 2 Robonaut here. So this might not be bad. And then we can just put hydration based on all those things out there. I think this is a good call. Let's go this way. See what happens there. All right.
I just heard something. It went bling, but I don't see anything. So I guess we're okay. Yeah, I think we're fine.
Okay. All right. This player here needs a refinery. A refinery in order to be able to build that, along with the Robonaut, to build that factory on Mars. So I'm not really thrilled with that thruster since it uses 5. This Robonaut here is less mass, and it's a buggy. So, I mean, that's kind of nice, although we really don't need a buggy because I don't want to build 2 factories out there on Mars. And it's also a D instead of the C. So, yeah, we're going to keep this Robonaut. We're going to take the refinery. It's 3 mass.
With a V spectral type. It's called the atomic layer deposition. All right. There you go. It's a good,
neat art, right? Okay. We're going to go to year 4. And although this player really doesn't like that thruster, they want to get a better thruster. So they're going to take that thruster, and then next time they're going to sell it. So they're going to go ahead and take the thruster. And holy cow, look at that thruster. It's got 5 mass, which is really high, but it's got 5 thrust and only uses 1. The metastable helium thruster. Yeah, I think, see how small this thruster is comparison. That guy is like almost half the size of it. But take a look at this.
he's tiny standing next to it.
So that's a big old thruster. Okay, we took that thruster. This person could actually boost. Well, they could boost something up if they wanted to. They don't really have a lot of a lot of cash. But I saw the other players taking one income and an income income operation, but one aqua, it just seems so pointless. I think it's just better to take another card and then sell one. So looking at that Robinot again, it's got that 0, which is really nice. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep that and take. Well, this refinery is kind of worthless. Well, this is interesting. It says -1 to co-located ray gun sight rolls. So that's interesting if we want to go out there, put water on them, and then just be able to double roll with this guy. Let's look at that Robinot again. This is a 2, so it can go to any two hydration site, and that other card provided 2 hydration, and then we can roll and we can get a -1. You know what? That's probably a good idea. So we're going to do that. We're going to basically take that card, and now we've got 4 cards, so we can't take any more card. We are hand limited at 4, and so this person is going to go ahead and I believe this is the Robinot that we didn't want, and we can go ahead and sell this one for 3. So we'll put that in the bottom, and we'll get 3 aqua from that. Here's a little bank here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then this person, they're going to keep the 4 mass, and they're going to ditch the 3 mass one. Wow. It says if used to industrialize a non-atmospheric site of size 8+, I guess that would be the moon. So if you do that, then you get the power sat privilege for the rest of the game. And the power sat privilege is basically adding 1 to the thrust because of this arrow here. So that's interesting. But I think we want to try to go for the ray gun size rolls. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sell this refinery. That V refinery, we're gonna sell it. And we're gonna get 3 aqua for that. Okay. We go into year 6. All right. Now the question is do we want to boost something up? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have a mass of 11 here. The question is, do I want to boost that up to Leo right now? Don't really need to, because I'm not probably going to go anywhere right now. Anyway, I need a lot more cash. So we're probably just going to buy cards and sell cards and get more cash. Well, this person did want the thruster, so we're going to go ahead and take that thruster because that's a 5-1. It's got a lot of mass, but we're going to do a 5. That's a nice one with a 5-1. And let's see, this person here. This is a dirt thruster, by the way. So this is the first time we've seen this. So this is a dirt thruster. You can see that it doesn't have a blue. It's got this gray brownish thing. And a dirt thruster, we can fill up all the way to the top if we're basically on a site. So that's pretty cool. Is that a better one than this? Kind of, because it uses dirt. It's got extremely high mass though, so maybe you don't want to take the dirt. The refinery is a 3 mass and it's a V. I'm going to need a D site in order to ET produce this. So I'm going to need a factory. I'm going to need to build a factory on a D site. So I'm going to have to look for a D site. There is a D site right here, actually. This is Deimos. So that might be good. The problem is I got to roll 1 in order to claim that. And that might be very difficult. The other D site, there's one here, but it's very difficult to get to. There's another D site that's out here. That's difficult to get to. There's a D site up there in the red with the red box. There's a 3D right over there, which that one is actually not too bad. So we may want to be able to get there and factory produce that refinery. Okay. First things first, though, is that I've got to get more cash. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this dirt thruster and then sell it next time. So that's year number 7. We're going to go ahead and sell that thruster there. I didn't really like it too much. So we're going to go ahead and sell that one and get 3 aqua for it. So I think that puts me at 10. 10 aqua. And I need 11 to boost it up into low Earth orbit. So actually it's 12 now. So because this stuff thruster is bigger, so that's 12. So I don't need to buy another card and sell another one. All right, on this one, we're going to sell that dirt thruster for 3 aqua. And this one has 4, 7, 10 as well. And this is going to cost 9, 11 to get to boost that to Leo. So here we are at year number 8. And again, I'm going to go ahead and buy something. Not exactly sure what, but let's see what this one is. Arcology. If this card is used to industrialize in the Mercury, Venus, and Earth zones, you do not need to decommission a Robonaut. Oh, that's interesting. So you get to keep if you like your Robonaut, you get to keep your Robonaut. And interesting. Huh. Well, I don't think that I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. Let's see, what was the other one here? Scoop. Yeah, they gain hydration. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep that. So we might as well just go ahead and take this card and sell it. That'll be fine. All right, here's another 3 mass refinery. This refinery we wanted to use to get the -1 to the co-located ray gun site. This one is co-located industrialization is a free action. Now that's really interesting too. So it's a free action. You can build factories so fast using this refinery. It's got to be built. It's got to be ET produced on an H site. So I'm not sure if we have that available to us or not. So probably not. I don't think that I'm going to be using this thruster anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take it and then sell it. All right, year number 9. Here's that refinery. That was pretty cool. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and sell this for 3 aqua. And look at that. I'm going to have to go into the bank unless I have more aqua outside of this packet. I don't believe that I do. All right, so look at that. I got a ton of aqua now. I believe that's 13 now sitting over there. So that's really good. I'm going to be able to boost up to Leo next time. All right, yep. So I'm going to take out 2 more aqua here, and we're going to sell this thruster. One, 2, 3. And we're going to be able to go boost up to Leo there too. All right, year 10. So the first 9 years, basically, we just spent getting a whole bunch of income and getting cards. And that's really kind of what the beginning of the game is. There is a quick version of the game that I read a little bit about. It said the quick start, and I think that's where you just take some cards and you don't do auctions. You just kind of set up your rocket, and then you start your years and stuff. So, but anyway, I kind of like doing this. This is fine. I'm
going to look at the time and see, okay, we're at 35 minutes.
Yeah, we're really rolling. I mean, we're rolling 35 minutes. We were doing about one turn every 10 minutes, and now we got one turn every 3. So, but this is the very start, so it's probably quicker. All right, so we're going to go ahead and boost our step up to LEO, and that's going to be 7, 12 aqua in order to get it up here along with the crew. So we're at 12 aqua. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I thought that was at 13, 10 and 13. So that's 6, 8, 10, 12. That's 14. Did I get myself an extra one? We were at 4. Then I went to 7. Then I went to 10. And then I went to 13. How'd they get an extra aqua? I don't know. But I think that I shouldn't have gotten that. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. All right. So I don't know why I gave myself 4, but apparently I gave myself 4 one time. But I got it figured out. I corrected it, and now we're back. So 4, 8, 11, and the mass on these 3 cards is equal to 12. So there we go. 12. All right. So I have 12 aqua, spending that. It goes into the bank. We'll put them up there. And then they're going to go ahead and they're going to build a rocket stack. And they're going to bring everybody in that rocket stack. So that's, what was that, 12, 13 mass? Yeah, 13 mass. So now it's a rocket stack. And put the rocket out on Leo. And they're going to figure out, I have the dry mass here of 13. And this thing is going to be a beast because I'm going to take some fuel, obviously, and get this thing out there. So, yeah, this is going to be quite something here if we can pull this off. All right, so we got 13 there, 13 mass, and the thrust on this guy is, well, we have a thruster here, which is a 5.4, but I don't like that because I like this guy right here, 5.1. So my base thrust is 5. It is not a pushable, and I don't have power sat anyway. It is not a solar. It would have been 0 plus 0 anyway because I'm on Earth or close to Earth in the Earth zone. So that's not going to help me any. I also don't have any fuel in it right now. I can put 1 in it, so I'll go ahead and put 1 in it. So I go up to 1 here. And that's a free action as well. So taking cards here and taking your aqua and putting up in the fuel tanks are both free actions. I've got my handy dandy thing here that is the Race for Glory player aid. And in addition to that, over here says free actions, cargo transfer, transfer cards between co-located stacks. I just did that. Internal tankage, convert fuel to and from cargo. So there you go. Did that as well. All right. So I got myself a rocket with 1 step of fuel, which is not going to get me any, very far. It basically gets me to the cycler, and then I have problems because I can't go anywhere from there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just leave that rocket there, but I have it built, and that's good. So this player is going to go ahead and do the same thing, get these 3 up to Leo. So that's 11. 11 mass is going to be boosted up there, leaving us with 2 aqua. We had 13. Put them all over there for now. So we've got everything there, and then we're going to go ahead and take everybody, put it on the rocket stack, join our compatriots in the on Leo as well. The thrust on this one is a 3 with 2 stops, so the thrust is 3, and the mass on this one is 12, 2, 3, 7, 12. So we got a wet mass and a dry mass. We got a dry mass of 12. And we have a wet mass of, well, we're going to put these 2 in there. So we have a wet mass of 14. I forgot to do the weight modifier here. It's a -1 net thrust. So we're at 4. Same thing here. So we're at 2. So this is going to be kind of a slow go rocket, but we're ultimately going to get there. Okay. This one has 1 burn right now. This one has 1 burn right now. So we're going to need a whole bunch more. All right. We're at year number 11, and we're going to take some more cards. Let's take a look at this one. This thruster is not bad if it's ET produced on that site, but I really like the 5.1 over there. So this player over here might benefit from it even more so. But the thing is, we're already kind of rolling with it. So I guess we just want to take some cards and burn through them. Yeah, we'll take this Robonaut here for that player. And this player will take this Robonaut here. We're not going to really use them right now. So that's fine. So we're going to go to year 12. They're going to sell this for 3. And this person's going to sell that for 3. So we're going to stick those on the bottom. And they're going to immediately use their 3s in order to fuel up their rocket. So 1, 2, 3, and that brings it into the tug zone. So it's a -2 weight modifier. 1, 2, 3. That brings that into the tug zone. So that's only a 1 net thrust. Probably going to have to use the afterburner, I would think, in order to get that thrust up to 2, because 1 is just 1 burn is really, really slow. Okay, so right now we've got enough for, what's this? 1, 2, 1, 2. We got enough for 2 burns. In order to go to Mars, is that's where we're gonna go with them. They're gonna need 3 burns to get there. So whether they go the blue route, it needs 3, or whether they go this route, it's gonna need 3 as well, because this one's not gonna pass through the Mars flyby. So the question is this one gonna go to Mars as well? Probably not, because we want to get a factory going. This person could go to Deimos and see if they can get themselves. Let's see. There's a Robonaut. What's the Robonaut? The Robonaut's a 2, and that's 2 hydration, so it can prospect there. They can also do a 1 reroll when using the ray gun, and that's a ray gun. So we could try to roll for a 1 twice there and see if we can get a D site really quick. That might not be a bad idea. Because think of it, we can go 1 burn, 2 burns, here, 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 here. So only 2 burns. So we can use that afterburn. And we can wait at the home and crossing there for the next year and not have to make any more burn. However, we won't have any fuel if we bust our claim there. Then we'll have to do an on-site refuel, which is what was the calculation for that again? It was like the site number minus the ISRU value plus 1. So that would be 1 plus 1 minus 2 is equal to 0. So we wouldn't be able to get any fuel from that place at all. That's really not good. So we need to have enough fuel to get back as well. So, all right, we're going to go here, seniority, take off one of those chits. So we're in year 13.
Looking at the time, we still
have 15 minutes to go in this video. So we went through a year really quick here. All right. We're going to go ahead and take, we're going to take this Robonaut here for the heck of it. This person's going to go ahead and take that Robonaut there for the heck of it. And then we're going to go this year. And then we're going to sell both these things just like we did before for 3. And that would be 1, 2, 3 steps here. 1, 2, 3 steps here. So we're getting closer, I think, to being able to go. So we need, 2 burns to get there. And then we're going to need a burn to get off. And we're actually going to need to use the afterburn. So that's 2 right off the bat. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So that actually gets us off of Deimos. And really kind of puts us back on Mars. So we go here to this burn site, and then we can go right to Mars. So technically, I'm only going to let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, the modifier is going to go back down to -1. So I'm going to go up to a 2 thrust. So I'll be able to take off from there without an afterburner, which is cool. I wouldn't mind having enough money for failure is not an option, because I could roll a 1 and blow everything up when I go to Mars. That probably wouldn't be great. But then again, you got to take a risk sometimes. So let's see. 1, 2 is the afterburn. 1, 2 is the first burn. 1, 2 is the second burn. And then we get to Deimos, and then 1, 2 to get off of Deimos, and then get on to Mars. Once I'm on Mars, though, can't really go anywhere. My crew's pretty much going to be stranded there. That's not going to be great. But then I can build a factory, and then I can get site refuel and actually take this guy off as a rocket. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. All right. So guess what? I'm going to be able to move. That's so cool. So with this one here, we've got everything set up, and we're ready to roll. So the first thing I'm going to do is pay 2 for the afterburn, and that's going to move my thrust up to 2. So we're going to burn here up to the cycler. 1, 2. We do not adjust the mass right now, or the thrust right now, even though it's gone down, because remember I think it was the last episode of the episode before. If we did that, we'd have to figure out differential equations. So what we're doing is just taking it from the very start of the turn, and it stays like that. And then at the beginning of the next turn, I'll be able to move the thruster back up to 2, because it's going to go. It's not going to go down to 1. It's just going to stay at 2, because I'm not going to do the afterburn next time. All right, so that's the first burn. Here's the second burn to Geo. If you recall, that is the apogee of that parabolic orbit, that the elliptical orbit this thing's going on. And we take it on down to the Lagrange point, and we don't want to burn again, so we just sit here at the Holman crossing until the next turn. All right, that's year number 2, or actually year number 14. So we're going to go to year number 15. This person here has a 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 burns. Maybe they should have moved last time and gone somewhere, but Um, but I really don't know where I'm going to be going with this person. What do they've got? They're going to do a factory. Um, they're going to build a factory, and they're going to decommission both those guys, and we can decommission the thruster and send it back out to wherever they build this factory. And which one do I want to do? Is it the Robonaut? That's a one buggy. I don't think that was the one. I think that it was this guy, the Scoop. Yeah. So we want to go to a V site. That's what I want to do. Want to go to a V site and build a V factory. There's a V site here on Mercury. That is not the easiest place to go to. However, they do want to have a glory chit. I don't think that's easy. That takes a lot of burns, and it's just not easy to get there. That's a V site, but it's not easy. That's kind of difficult. Here's a V site here. So that's not too bad. It's got a 1 hydration, which means that to prospect it, I need a 1 ISRU or less, and I've got a 2 ISRU Robonaut, so I'm not going to be able to prospect there, unfortunately. So I need a bigger V site. It can't be a 1V. It's got to be a 2V or higher. So I'm looking for a 2V or higher, and I see a 6V right there. It requires, though, a half a burn in order to land. And how many burns is it to get out there anyway? So here's a burn here to get there, which gets a half a burn. So that's 1.5 burns. That's a pivot. That's 2 burns unless I wait. I think I would wait and just go here for 1 burn and then here to the half burn. So that'd be 1.5 and waiting there. Here's a burn here. That's on the blue line. Here's a burn here. There's a burn here and here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Actually, this goes by the Mars flyby. So that's a bonus. So 1, 2, 3, bonus. Use the bonus here, 4.5. So 4.5 burns to get there. That might not be a bad move. But I'm concerned about not having being stranded out there and not being able to go anywhere. So what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to go ahead and take a card. This refinery here, co-located industrialization is a free action. Boy, that would be really nice to have. I think I'm going to save that card for later and just take this Robonaut here, this S Robonaut, into the hand. All right, I'm not gonna move because I want to sell this thing and then get more fuel and then go next turn because I am kind of concerned that I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. All right, or at least possibly get stranded out there. Okay, so wait a minute. Since it's a 6 site, I'm going to need to have enough thrust in order to be able to land there, and so I'm going to have to. Oh my goodness! I think I'm going to have to use my. I don't think I can use both of these at the same time. It's just one. You can only use one triangle at a time. You can't combine them. I'm going to have to stop at that thing and do an 11 and do 14 burns in order to land there. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness. how can I even do 14 burns? I'm at 12. That goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 burns. Wow. And then I had a whole bunch of burns to get there. Maybe that's not the place to go with an extremely heavy rocket. And maybe it's probably better to do it in a couple of different passes as well. Maybe I shouldn't have put everything up in my rocket. I've got a big old heavy rocket, and I think that's a problem. But I don't want to. I want to go to a V site that I can actually prospect. But it really needs to be a 4 or less, because I've got this thrust of here of 5, and I can use the afterburner. Even though it's a transport, I'm going to get a weight penalty. So a 4V. Is there such thing as a 4V? That's what I'm looking for. Or 3, or even a 3V would be okay. There's a 4C. There's not a lot of V's in there. I mean, here's a 1V. So that's not cool. It's also hard to get to. And the farther that we go out, the tougher it's going to be. I mean, here's an 8V, which is just a no way. There isn't any other like that. So there is no 4V. There is no 3V. Is there even a 2V? There's 1V, 1V. Or C. No, there isn't. Holy cow. So it's either 1V or it's a 6V, which is Vesta. And you got to use, okay, you only have to use half a burn. Okay, half a burn. Well, that makes sense, but you also need to have half a burn to get off of it as well. So, yes, that can be done with a factory refuel, though. So that is possible. Okay, well we'll do that. I'm just gonna go ahead with this guy here, and we're gonna go ahead and move. We took this card. This person's not going to do their operation yet. They're going to do their movement. So we're going to move here. And this is Lagrange point. And we're going to go ahead and land on the site because, sorry, I did not adjust this. I didn't need to adjust it, right? Because I'm not using the afterburn. It's a 3 thruster with a weight penalty of 1. So that's a 2. And a 2 can go ahead and land on a 1 without any problem. All right. So we've landed there now. And since we landed in the Mars zone with a crew, we get to take, that's right, a glory chit. So we got ourselves our first glory chit. And we've landed on the moon of Mars called Deimos. And for the operation, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attempt to prospect because that's got 2 hydration on it. And this is an ISRU of 2. So you need to have an ISRU value less than or equal to the number of hydration drops that are on it in order to prospect. And then what you do is you roll the die and you look at the site number, and it's a 1. And you got to roll a 1. Basically, unless you have other modifiers, you have to roll a 1. And right now, all I've got is a reroll. I do actually have a reroll with the faction's privilege. So I need to roll a 1, and I get 2 shots at it. So it's not very likely, but it's possible. Let's see what happens. 1. Oh my gosh! You saw that, right? There it is. We rolled the 1. I mean, that is so lucky. I threw that thing up. You saw, I did not cheat. I rolled a 1. So guess what? We get to claim that site. Holy cow. That is so cool. We claim that site. And now we have ourselves one, it's a D site, and we have ourselves a claim. That is amazing. Let's see. The operation is to industrialize. So we're going to have to wait on that. The free actions we can do cargo transfer, which we don't need to do right now. We're good. I guess we could set up an outpost, but I guess we could set up an outpost. I don't think that we need to. So I just think that we'll sort of stay in our rocket, and we're going to create a factory next time anyway. So, yep, voluntary discard. We can decommission certain things. I don't think we want to do that either. We're probably going to actually build the factory and the colony there. So, yeah. You don't need to claim jump. Yeah. So I guess that's going to be the end of that. That's 1 hour. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Next time we will start on year number 16. And we got ourselves our very first claim on the moon of Deimos. So stay tuned for the next episode. I really appreciate you watching. I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are having a good time too watching this.